No big deal, we'll just get started anyway. I think a lot of people are actually watching the recordings more. Maybe time of the day, or maybe it's just that it seems daunting for them to do private blog networks. But anybody who is here who really wants to do the private blog networks, what we're going to cover today, most of today, is about planning the content, okay? So I'm going to cover some basic points, and as we go through the basic points, I'm just going to give you some just brief introduction to them, and from there we're going to get into actual planning content, okay? This is really, really, really important. Most of you who know me for a while will know that I used to have a website called Kiss IM, okay? And it was always a mantra that I've used with internet marketing right from the very, very beginning, and that is to keep things stupidly simple. Now, we could go into really complicated things when we're talking about domains and hosting, or we can do it really, really simply, okay? And that's what we're going to cover very, very briefly today, to keep it simple, and it's deliberately done like that so that we don't confuse you, okay? We want to do this so that you're not confused at all, so that it's just really, really easy and you keep moving forward really fast. And I want to focus more instead on the actual planning the content, okay? And I've got another resource for you as well, how to get Google to optimize your content. Now, the people from PBN Masterclass had 3 webinars last week. For you guys, don't worry, I'm not giving the whole farm away. We've got so much more to come in PBN Masterclass from today onwards. I've already recorded some extra videos from yesterday. But the whole point of doing a webinar series like this is to make people actually take action and do stuff, okay? So I feel it's really, really important that we share some things that I believe will make a major, major difference in people actually taking action, and that is to be able to get Google to optimize your content in a very, very easy and fast way, and also to be able to plan out your content in a way that it seems less daunting to build PBN sites, and do it properly, do it in a way that is going to be there for a long, long time, and without using any crappy content, without using any spun content, just really good sites that will be there for a long time. If you do that, you will never have any problems, okay? So the time and the money that you're investing is actually an investment and not a cost, okay? So anyway, I think I'm here. Do you want to say hello to the guys?
Hello, 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 hello. What's up,
anyway,
guys?
I kind of just ranted on there. Okay. I don't really
see anybody because you never made me an organizer, so I'm all by myself out here.
Oh, let me fix that. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. I thought that was already set up in there.
I'm a panelist, but not an organizer, so I can't see anybody.
Yeah, see that now. I'm going to make you an organizer right now. I thought that was already done in the GoToWebinar settings. My apologies. Anyway, let's just jump in, guys, and I want to keep this, most of this brief. The parts that you might be confused about, I'm just simplifying, because you don't need to know any more than what I'm telling you here. You really, really don't. It doesn't have to be complicated, okay? So first of all, to access the slider, just put the link in the chat box over here where you can get access to this spreadsheet that I'm using right now, okay? Again, please do a social share if you're on Twitter, if you're logged in, Facebook or anything. Just give us a share and you can use the replays link here, which has got a registration on it, a direct registration, okay? Anybody logged into Google, I'm testing something, and I would really, really appreciate if you would reshare this link, okay? I haven't optimized the replay page. I haven't even got an SEO title or anything in there. And before I do that, I really want to get some Google shares. If you can do a Google share and a Google Plus one, it would be really appreciated, because I want to see something before I add that, and I want to see what it's like afterwards as well, after I've actually optimized the content. So just for the sake of testing, I would really appreciate it if people would do that if you're logged into Google, okay? So all the replays are on that page I've just given you. And the Web 2.0 Commando competition, we're going to announce 2 winners today and 2 next week, okay? And the reason for that is a lot of people have been a little bit delayed who ordered some edge domains because we were a bit slow to get stuff set up, okay? Most of the people who ordered the PBN sites, they will be coming out today. We had a little bit of systemization to do to make it easier and make it better, and we'll cover that probably in an email or something later, okay? But if you bought any PBN sites or H domains and you haven't got them yet, you should get them today, okay? All right, Web 2 competition. Anybody who has got an expired domain done and who has put some content on it, if you can put the link in there into the questions area, okay, and we'll look at that towards the end of the webinar, and we'll choose 2 winners. I'm going to let Hugh choose the winners, okay? So if you do that, then he can check on those while I'm doing the presentation, and he can choose 2 winners at the end. Is that okay, Hugh?
Sure. What exactly is the criteria for winning again?
Well, basically it's for money sites. So what we're going to do is choose the best money sites. What you're looking for is the content they've got in there, the design, is it user-friendly, all that kind of stuff. We're just looking for something that's been done very, very nicely on top of an expired domain. And we'll give out 2 winners today and 2 winners next week. Now, the Web 2.0 Commando it's ready. You can see here, we've got it in here. So 2 people will get access to that. It has not been released yet, okay? And this is really, really awesome tool. Really, really massively awesome tool. It's just something that you've never seen before. Okay, if you're using things like FCS and RankWiz and you find it confusing, this is my answer to that, okay? You can see that we can set in tiers and all that kind of stuff. So 2 people will win access to that this week. And it's not a plugin, it's a web application. You just log in and you're able to use it, okay? So I'll let Hugh pick out 2 winners from that today while I'm doing the presentation. Okay, so let's talk about domain setup. I had a lot of questions last week. And, you know, I would appreciate people putting the questions into the replay page on the blog, okay? It's just easier for me to get everything in one place. Some people have been sending in emails and some people by Skype. If you've got any questions on what we're covering, put it into that blog post where the replays are, okay? And then I can go in there maybe once every day or 2 and make sure that everything's up to date with the comments, okay? So a lot of questions were about domain setup, and quite rightly a lot of people were asking should they use fake ID or real ID. The thing is that when you're setting up your hosting, most of the time they're asking you for a telephone number. So therefore, it's kind of better to do with real information, but it doesn't always have to be your own information. You can use friends, okay? Now, a lot of people will know that when we did the old Tube SEO Commando software suite, before they had the days of the multi-channel, what we used to do was create a Google account for every YouTube channel, and we used to have to make up information to be able to get new Google accounts for every time we wanted to build a new channel. What we found was the best way of doing that was actually just using a friend's information. A friend has got a telephone number, so if there's any text message or code or anything like that to come through to confirm, it can all be done with real information, okay? And that way we can keep things as real as possible. The closer we keep it to reality as possible, the better success you're going to have in building these things out long term, okay? And it's the same with the hosting as well. We're going to keep it really simple. Now, talking about simplicity, what we can do, when you find an H domain, you can just go and set up the hosting without having to go into a different registrar. You can actually buy that domain name. If it's already expired, you can buy that domain name via the hosting that you set up, okay? And that kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So instead of going to GoDaddy, unless you're buying on an auction, which you can't avoid, okay, if it's a real expired domain, it will still be available. There won't be any money to pay to a broker, etc. Then you can just go in to something like Bluehost or Host9 or whatever, and you just set up in there, okay? They will register the domain for you, okay? And that takes away a lot of the complication. And the whole point of trying to get in for today's presentation is to try and get it through to you that we don't need to do complicated things. We don't need to overthink a lot of things as well, okay? So the hosting, we want to keep it really, really simple. If we can combine it with the domain setup at the same time, then we're taking a huge step forward without confusing things. And it's less to remember as well, whether you're using the PBN tracker from here or whether you're using a spreadsheet, okay? And this week's giveaway is going to be content planner spreadsheet. This is what I give to the PBN Masterclass people. And again, if you're in the Masterclass, don't fret. I just really want people who are in even free webinars to take action and make this work. Otherwise, all we're doing here is sitting here recording videos week after week. We want to get case studies. We want to get people actually taking action. And these are the things that will make a big difference, whether they do take action and become successful at it or not. Okay, so there's a ton more to come for the PBN Masterclass. There's a lot of free tools, etc., that I'm going to give you as well. Okay, so don't fret. There's a lot more to come. Anyway, keep it stupidly simple. Okay. If you want to use fake names, you can use a website called fakenamegenerator.com, and you can choose to use male, female, what country, etc. I would suggest if you want to use that, keep it to the main countries, Canada, USA, whatever, or keep it really geo-targeted if you're doing a geo-targeted PBN. Okay, most of the hosting request telephone numbers, so keep that in mind. Okay, and what I want to really concentrate on when we're talking about planning your content is it's better to build fewer PBN sites that are authority sites, rather than doing lots of little ones. That might contradict what you've been taught and what you've heard, but it's got far more advantages because it's easier to build authority when you're adding good quality content in big amounts. Okay, and I don't mean big amounts at one time, I just mean over time, where we keep adding really good quality content, nothing spun, and we just keep adding information in there, adding new blog posts. Not every blog post has to be an epic one though. You can do like 200, 300 words sometimes, and I'm going to cover that briefly as well in this webinar. Okay, so building authority PBN sites means that we can do less, and that means less hosting, that means less domains, and all those footprints, less a chance of getting found out as well. Okay, and this is by far the better way to do it, and this is again keeping it really simple. So it's going to cost you the same anyway for the content. If you're buying it, it's going to cost you the same time for creating it. And if you're doing sort of authority ones, then you can go broader a little bit with the sub niche, so that you can cover different areas, and that way it's easier to silo as well. So for example, if I was doing one about SEO, then I could do one about building links, I could do one about video SEO, I could do one about on-page SEO, etc. Things like that, or you can have one authority site that covers those kind of things in the categories so that you can silo from there. Okay, now if you're not sure what a silo is, basically it's where we plan out the content of the site, which we're going to cover in just a few minutes, and where we categorize. So for example, going back to my example here for the SEO one, if I'm doing a PBN, an authority PBN on SEO, then what I want to do is have those different categories like list building, like video SEO, or video optimization, on-page SEO, that kind of thing. And then underneath that category there will be a bunch of articles or blog posts, okay? And inside those blog posts then we can target more sort of keywords according to what fits in. So if I was doing things about video SEO, then I might talk about YouTube SEO. I might talk about video SEO sitemaps on your WordPress sites. I might talk about how to optimize your video before you upload it to YouTube. I might talk about how you can benefit from streaming your video to Hangouts instead of uploading to YouTube so you can rank faster, that kind of thing, okay? And each one of those would be a different blog post, but it all fits into that particular category. And from there, what we're doing is we're siloing, okay? And by doing that, then we're building a proper structure to the site that Google understands, and more importantly, believe it or not, in my opinion, is that it's user-friendly as well, okay? So everything we do with these sites, we have to think about user-friendly, because if you don't do that, then you're going to have a high bounce rate, and it's going to be problematic for you, okay, as far as keeping rankings, because if people just bounce from your site, then Google picks that up and it thinks it's crappy content, and therefore it's going to harm your rankings, okay? Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about hosting. What I do want to mention, and again I'm just going to cover this very briefly so we can get into the content planning, is I suggest that you keep to the sort of bigger hosts. Things like Bluehost, HostGator, WordPress hosting are all good, okay? They don't look out of place and they don't look obscure. The problem with these smaller ones, although they may be cheap and a lot of people think it's a really good thing to do because less footprints, etc., is that not many people are using them. And if you suddenly spring up with a 10 site PBN and not using any of the sort of big hosting companies, to me that is a footprint. You do not want to use the same accounts, but you can create new accounts on Bluehost, on HostGator. You can have several accounts on those, and you guaranteed better uptime as well, better support as well, if you need help with anything, okay? So in saying that, in the resources section here, you will see that we have put a list of other hosting in here as well for you, and we put some information in there as well, okay? So for people who want to go that route, it's entirely up to you, but I suggest that you stick to the main ones, okay? Bluehost, there's Host9, HostGator, there's some WordPress hosting that you can find as well, and these are really common, and these would be expected to be used in authority sites, okay? You wouldn't expect an authority site to be on some obscure host. You just would not, okay? So keep that in mind, keep it as real as possible, okay? Just make sure you never have the same hosting for the PBN sites as you do for your money site. Keep them completely different. So if I was going to do one PBN site, I might do that, say for example on HostGator, then I would not do any PBN sites on HostGator at all. I would keep it on Bluehost and whatever, okay? Just keep them separate just for the sake of being safe, okay? For the money sites, what you could do actually, I was looking, that was this morning I was looking, most of you heard of a guy called Terry Kyle. He has started a hosting company called Traffic Planet. If you search on Google, it's Traffic Planet Hosting. He's got some really good deals, and the good thing about Traffic Planet is that they are very, very fast, much faster for WordPress sites than other hosting. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to order it today and see if I can transfer some sites over there, and they will do a transfer for you as well. So for money sites, it makes sense to maybe be using something like Traffic Planet just for the speed, okay? And if you need any help with things like themes, speeding up your site, if you feel technically challenged at any time, one of the best resources to use, I'll put it at the end in the resources section here, but what you can do is head over to studio.envato.com, and you will find in there a whole bunch of people that can do a whole bunch of stuff, and they're really, really professional as well. This is not the same sort of thing as on Fiverr.com, but if you want to get things done properly, it's a really great resource. And also for when you're in Envato, it's part of it's part of a sort of network of sites. You can buy WordPress themes, you can buy WordPress plugins, and you will see a lot of plugins in there that look very familiar to what you've seen as sort of WSO launches. And I think that's because a lot of these guys doing those launches have taken ideas from them and maybe connected with those guys and did a product launch from those particular products in there, okay? You will find it for Facebook apps, for WordPress plugins. You will see a lot of stuff that might be really familiar to you, and probably it's because they have taken them from there or taken the idea from there, and you will find there's just a really high standard of professionalism. And you can search by categories in here for things you want to get done. So for example, WordPress, installation, plugins, customization, etc. All that kind of stuff there, but these guys are really, really good and they know what they're doing, okay? So to get stuck and technically challenged and you want to build a 5-site PBN network, like you want to make it really, really good, then consider using these guys if you get stuck. You can get as low as $50 and they will set things up properly for you, as far as maybe you see a theme that you like, but you don't know how to configure it to make it look like the demo theme. These guys do that for about $50, okay, and it gets done properly that way. So I use these guys quite a lot. It's actually a very, very good service. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on that briefly. Okay, so anyway, let's go and talk about planning your content. Now what I've got here, and what you find in the slide as well, a couple of links here if you've got access to the slide already. You'll see I've got 2 Google Docs in here, and the Google Docs, one of them is explaining exactly how I do things step by step, okay? And this one is a planning sheet, okay? Now you'll see in here that I put in some quick tips. I put in some headings and comments and quick tips in here. Okay, I did that wrong way around, but never mind. Just follow these for being able to get an idea of what you need to do. Okay, now the easiest way to plan out a PBN site, or to do a PBN site, sorry, is to plan it out. Okay, so I'm going to cover a little bit what we did in Webinar 3 and PBN Masterclass the other day. So what we want to do, you can read down here and you can see the basics of what I'm talking about, is to get, first of all, a list of 10 to 20 popular headlines from somewhere called BuzzSumo. Okay, BuzzSumo is a really, really good resource for being able to find really popular topics, okay, the most socially shared topics around any particular keyword. So let's just open this up and we'll take a quick look. Now, I suggest that you use these kind of articles for your outbound links. Don't use the Wikipedia. Keep away from all that kind of stuff because it's a big, big flag that you're doing SEO. Everybody and my mother is doing Wikipedia links as outbound links, and it's getting old, it's getting boring, and it's just not. You can think outside the box and do it in a more clever way now. So the example I used the other day was content marketing, I think. Let's put content marketing tools, for example. And when we open this up, it will show you the most shared articles from social media. Okay, you can see how many Facebook shares, how many LinkedIn shares, Twitter shares, etc. Now you can sort of filter this by the date to keep it really relevant and topical. You can do it by the past week, which I think makes more sense. And when you do that, then what we're left with is really very, very recent things that have been shared. Okay, I'm going to take that back to the past month because the Facebook shares are low. And this gives you an idea for topical content as well. Okay, these are things that people are talking about in the last month, and you can see there's quite a few decent amount of shares in here. Okay, now what you can do, what I suggest you do, is you go through and you get ideas for headlines. Write down a bunch of headlines that you think you could use. Okay, so one way I like to do it is to use Evernote. Actually, I just started using that this week, and it's really, really good. I don't know why I wasn't using it before. So what you can do is you can open up a piece of content that you like the headline for, and you can get some ideas, and this is really a fast way to do content. Now, if I go into Evernote and I click this to Evernote, and I put in here ideas, for example, I'm just going to tag it. Then I can quickly just save these and come back to them at any time. Okay. And once it's saved, it's in there. Now what happens is once you've got them saved and you've got a tag like this, your tags will all appear on the left-hand side. And if you click on one, you'll be able to get a hold of that content. I think I got the pop-up on this one. Let's take another one. How to set up a private blog network one. Okay, so I've got somebody else's content in here. What I can do is I can quickly just go through the basics of what he's got here. Let me see if I can find something more suitable. Let me just see. Okay, this is about the new SSL update, this one. So what I can do is I can just take the headlines from this and I can rechange the headlines. So I could say instead of new facts on Google HTTPS ranking signal, I could change that to something like, well, what you need to know. Algorithm update, okay, something like that. And it gives me ideas for content, so I can just basically swipe off what I don't want and just keep working my way from there. Obviously, I'll take out the pictures. We don't want to be stealing somebody's content, but we're getting ideas, okay? So we can we can write a little blurb underneath. Something like that. Okay, so I can put just basic ideas in here. Now, what I like to do as well is I like to be able to bullet point things. which were covered in PBS Masterclass last week. So you can start off your article by writing bullet points so that when people come to see the article, they've got a very, very broad, we've got a very quick overview, sort of cloud view of what the article is about, and then you can go into doing things like videos and images and little blurbs about various things, okay? So what we can do then is we can take some bits and pieces from that, and that way you can build out your content really, really fast. Okay, and it's so easy to do, so fast to do, and you're getting the ideas for your content from other people. So of course you can go and do that with various articles in the sort of same tag that you've got over here, and just copy and paste it back into this one, and that way you're creating your content really, really fast. Okay, so that's one way to do that. Okay, but let's come back over here. Let's go into the planning masterclass document here. So what I suggest you do is you make about 10 to 20 headlines in here and use the planner. And you can see the way that I've used the planner here, where I put the article headlines. Okay, these are the article headlines that I've made from, first of all, looking at Sumo, but I also give you another couple of resources in here that you can use as well. Okay, so there's BuzzSumo, there's another one called Bloggerscope, which is really good. There's another one actually called Content Gems, which is great. They send you emails every day for relevant content. Content Gems is really good for resharing other people's content and keeping any sort of social media accounts look like they're intelligently done. Okay. The only thing I would suggest is you keep it topical if it's going to be a sort of news information, and you're looking for evergreen stuff as well, things that are not going to go out of fashion as far as your particular niche. Okay, some basic things. So if I was doing it for dog training, I might give you an example of, let's just go and see dog training over here for Google News. This is another great source, and Yahoo News is very, very good as well. If we go into the news section here, and when we scroll down here, you will get ideas for information. Now, we had some better ideas the other day when I did this one in PBM Masterclass. Things here like fundraiser to benefit MC Dog Park, for example. It's not, it might not be that relevant geographically, but you could start a blog post around that kind of thing and make it more suitable for your own area. Say that, you could say that, why don't we have that kind of thing happening here? That's a way that you can do very, very quick news posts as well, just by using that. Okay, so it's a great resource to do that, to be able to do that, so that you can do a quick blog post, and not every single blog post has to be epic. You can do that in about 15 minutes to write a blog post like that, even faster if you're just going to do sort of short keywords, short blog post, maybe 300 words, stick it a news video if you can find one on YouTube, and stick an image in there, and it can look very, very good. Okay, so from here what we want to do is a couple of things. Once we've got our article headline here, we have to also think about how that is going to look in the search engines. So when you've got your article headline in WordPress, for example, that doesn't necessarily have to be the actual sort of title URL as well. We want to abbreviate that to make sure we've got our main keywords in there, and the easiest way to do that is to use this tool here called SEOmorpho.com/snippet optimizer. So for example, for this second one here, we can copy that, and I can put that headline into here, and you can see down here the example of what it's going to look like inside the Google search. Okay, we used to have 70 characters. We don't have 70 characters anymore. They actually do it now on pixel width. So if I didn't capitalize every single word in here, you're going to find out you've got more pixel width. Okay, but if you want to keep that sort of capitalization, what I like to do, then you have to think how to cut this down a little bit. So you can cut down parts of it, and you can see where we can, just make the main parts right as far as what it's going to look like for the actual title and inside your WordPress settings. So you will have your headline in WordPress, plus you will have your SEO plugin, whether it's Ultimate SEO or All-in-One SEO or Yoast SEO. Whatever you put in there is really, really important, and then we're going to do the actual URL from that point as well. So what I did is I did actually play around with it, and I came up with a variation of the blog post title or the blog post headline. And you can see here, it's really short, it fits just, okay, and that is what you would put into your SEO headlines in your SEO plugin, okay. And then from there, what we need to do, you can also do the description here, okay, and you can see exactly how much space you got. Don't put too much emphasis on what it says up here about the characters, just keep an emphasis on what you see down here. It's very visual and it's easy to see, and you can even simulate the Google search. Sponsored links at the top and at the bottom in the organic search, and that's what your listing will look like, etc. It's a fantastic little tool. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and it's a great way to optimize your content, okay, to be able to get that sort of planned out. The other way to do it, which is really, really good, is to look at Google AdWords ads, okay, because those guys are spending a lot of money, and they know how to optimize things like the titles and their descriptions. They've got very, very few characters to work with. And if you look at what they're doing, you'll get some great ideas as well. And the other place to look is on Twitter, of course, because they've only got 140 characters. But you've got some fantastic headline ideas in there. And, you know, with very few characters, you can see that people actually have to put a lot of thought into making those headlines good enough that will force the click-through, okay? So start thinking as a sort of marketer at this point and beyond the SEO stuff when we come to this. Although it's kind of SEO related as far as what's going to fit into Google, you have to start thinking about what will force the click-through. Things like how to, 5 best ways of doing stuff, controversy kind of headlines, shock, surprise, all that kind of stuff. You can find a whole bunch of blog posts all over the place that explain there's various ways that you can use headlines. But I find the easiest way to do it is to use Twitter and to use tools like BuzzSumo, etc. Okay, and you can even find headline generator ideas, which we've got one built into the Hangout Traffic Commando suite. Those kind of things will help you quite a lot. But really look at what is working. Look at what's getting a lot of shares, look at what's getting a lot of click-throughs that way, and you will see what is topical within your particular niche. And that's why BuzzSumo and Blogoscope and Content Gems are really, really good for that kind of thing, as well as Twitter. Okay, so anyway, let's come back over here, over to the planner. So now we've created the headlines. And what I suggest you do is you create at least 10. Okay, now if you get this done, and you can get some, 10 very good headlines that you want to write about, that you know you need to get the content done, and then you do this part using this snippet optimizer, then you're actually about halfway there, okay? The only thing that you really need to think about now is about your silo. You need to think about your CTA, your call to action in your article, and every article should have a call to action. Every single one, whether it's even just giving a PDF of that blog post where you have a social locker, for example. Just train people to get used to having a call to action, okay? And then it doesn't seem so unnatural for them or such a big hassle for them to be able to do stuff. But always make your call to action really, really easy to do, okay? So something like retweet this and you will get access to the PDF of this blog post, for example. One click, they're done, they get access to the PDF, and you can find social locker plugins, free ones, that do that for you, okay? And all you do is you highlight a piece of content and you set that up. It takes about 2 seconds once you know what you're doing, and it's really, really easy to do as well, okay? So anyway, what I do for creating the silos is a little bit kind of unnatural as I begin this document saying, I do like to front. I'm not sitting planning my category first and then trying to fit the article. I'm looking for great headline article titles, okay? And then I build out the SEO part. Then I'm thinking about the category. Now this is off the top of my head, this part, always, okay? And the reason for that is because it's more real, it's more natural, okay? And I'm not trying to fit around a particular category. What I'm trying to do is to find what is really popular in that niche first, as far as what people want to learn about and want to know about. And the article should always be a solution to a kind of problem, okay? And from there, then we can say in one word what that particular category is, okay? So in this one, 3 ways to stop a puppy being anxious when you leave home, for example, that's about behavior, okay? This one, home-cooked dog food recipes to keep your dog healthy, that's about nutrition. This one was from the Google News, like shock collar, for your dog, is it cruel? That's the news kind of section, okay? This one, MACC, to offer free dog training to power breed owners, and that's news, okay? And then you can see the actual silo building from here, but in a far, far more natural way and a far better way for the users as well, for the readers to that particular blog post, okay, or for that site. Because what we're doing is we're creating a site that is providing solutions to a lot of questions people are answering in the niche, and we're not doing it back to front by creating all these categories and then trying to rack our brains and think about the content, okay? It's far easier and less daunting once you've got this part set up to be able to do that, and then your silos look completely natural, okay? Does that make sense? Is there any questions right now? I'll need to take a break from talking and take a glass of something here.
Yeah, we got a few questions coming in.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, some of them are just way too much. If you guys want to be in the competition, really, we just need a URL. I really can't dig through like pages of explanations about websites and stuff. As much as I'd love to, I just am not going to be able to do that. So we just want a URL for if you're going to be in that competition. Now, Laurence would like to know, he says he's in the master class, but he has not received any training webinars.
Right. Have you got the login details? If you've got your membership login details, the webinars are in the webinar section. I think CJ actually put, by mistake, into the money sites tab the other day. I saw one in there and she put it right at the bottom. Last night I told her to fix that and to put into the webinars. You should see 3 webinars in there that we did last week, all about 1 hour and 10 minutes, 1 hour 20 minutes webinars, and we cover this kind of stuff that I'm covering today in a lot more detail. You should see them. What is going in there today?
What about 500,000? I don't really understand that question, but hopefully that solves it for you.
500,000 what?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Maybe he misunderstood something that you said. I don't know.
Okay.
Mario Garcia wants to know if you can review all the upsells to the main product, as he is confused.
I can review upsells to main product being PBM Masterclass, or
I have no idea.
There is no upsells to PBM Masterclass. It's just, you know, we've got this free webinar series which I'm trying to create. Well, I'm creating so that I'm trying to get people actually doing this strategy. That's why I'm giving you parts of PBM Masterclass, and there is PBM Masterclass, and that is it. Okay, there is no other upsells. We will be having PBN Assassin at some point, but it's not ready yet. It should be ready this week, but it's not yet.
Okay. Peter, what's up, Peter? Peter wants to know if BuzzSumo can be incorporated into my software, ICC Express. I think it's a great idea. I have already emailed them for information about their API, so we'll try to get that going on.
Yeah.
Jacques Brocas has a few things here. He says he wants to know about replays of the previous webinars, and I know they're on the same link out there.
Yeah.
He wants to know a list
the link
of
is in the chat box.
And he wants to know the URL to the membership area.
Right.
And
okay.
he says something about the link you sent for the last webinars are not in the Google Docs. Well, I don't think they're supposed to be Jock. I think that's just a spreadsheet or a planner. It's not really going to have all the URLs in it from the previous webinars.
I shared this link to this particular slide, this spreadsheet, this slide that I'm using right now for the presentation. Okay, if you click on the first slide here, you will see a link to the replays. Okay, and I did ask people if they would please reshare this Google Plus post as well. Okay, so the first one is a Google Plus post, and the second one here is the link to the actual replays. All the resources from all the replays are underneath each week. Okay, so last week it has a link to the PBN tracker that Hugh gave out, and it has a link to some other bits and pieces in there. The first week has got a link to I can't remember what we gave out in week 1, wherever it was, that is in there as well. Everything will be on this particular page, okay? We also got a fan page. But the trouble with fan pages is you can't organize them properly. You can't organize them in a logical order, okay? That's why we're doing it on the actual blog, okay? So we can see week 1, week 2 underneath that, week 3 underneath that, and we keep things nice and organized in one place and easy for people to be able to find stuff.
Cool.
As far as membership login, everybody should have got that access. If you do not have that access, send an email to support@anthonyhayes.me, okay? Just say, give them your purchase ID, give them your PayPal email that you used to purchase, and we will get you sorted out right away. We had a problem with Zaxa purchase not communicating with the Zaxa WordPress plugin that they gave us, so that when people purchase, they automatically get the access. I don't know what we did wrong there, but that's why there was some delays, because we hadn't got that right. But if you send an email to support@anthonyhayes.me, you will find we will respond pretty quickly, and there's a bunch of content already in there, and there's a ton more going to be added today and tomorrow as well. Okay?
Cool.
All right. So let's come back over here, unless there's any more questions.
I think that's pretty much it.
Right. Okay. So where were we? Yeah, categories for the silos. So hopefully this makes sense to do it like this. This is really, in my opinion, the best way to do it, because it's natural. Okay, we're not trying to build content and rack our brains and find the content after we created the sort of articles. Okay. Now what we can do is we can go and look in Google for the authority sites within your niche, and I did that for the dog training example here, and I found this site called mydogcaresite.com. So if I click over here, you're going to find some great examples of how you can optimize your content. Have I lost my internet connection, or has that site just gone offline? Oh dear. Let me just see if I can open it again. It looks like this site is actually down. That's a bit of a shame. Okay, so if I just go in here, Google should say dog care. And you can go and look for the sort of sites that are more like blogs. I found it in the roundabout way, the same site.
I hate to interrupt you,
Yeah.
Anthony, but Laurence is quite adamant that he really wants to know if he can get a special price for Web 2.0 Commando. He's put it in the chat box like 10 times, so I really better not leave him on.
Look, guys, whenever I release something, as long as you're an active subscriber to my list, you will always get the best deal possible for any new tools, okay? When we release new tools, usually we do so with some kind of scarcity in there, because I have to put an offer out and I reward the people who buy first, okay? And you always get the best possible price. It will never be lower than the price I put out. I will put it out when it's ready to be put out. I got delivery, a final delivery of it just 2 days ago. We've got an account creator created for it as well. You can see my proxy has been reworked here, but if I go over to the account creator over here, let me just see accounts, see my profiles. For example here, it comes with an account creator, and it's one click, really one click. You can choose to create emails and accounts. You can go and create 300, 500, whatever, and literally one click it will create the Hotmail account. It will go and create all of these accounts that are in the Web 2.0 Commando, and you don't touch it. As long as you've got your proxies and your capture and things in there, and you've done the settings to make it enable to auto schedule, etc., it will go and create all those accounts. And when it's done, you will see no more movement. You'll see a little black progress bar at the bottom here when it's running, and when it's done, that progress bar will be gone. What you do is you go over here and click this button, start uploading to Web 2.0. It will upload the accounts into your account on Web 2.0 Commando, okay, which is a web application. There's nothing like this I know anywhere that can do this kind of stuff. You can literally create 500 profiles with one click. Really, it's some really fantastic stuff.
Very cool.
Okay. Yeah, it is very, very good. So that comes with Web 2.0 Commando, and I will explain the differences between our tool and other people's tools when I'm about to release it, okay? But one of the major differences is that we have the account creator. So if you go and use RankWiz or FCS, they're great tools. I find them confusing, and Web 2 Commando is my sort of response to the confusion there, and for the problem of getting accounts and adding accounts, okay? So that's all I can really tell you about Web 2.0 Commando. It's not available right now. It will be available in the next few days. I might even just run it as a weekend special from sort of Saturday morning or Friday night until Monday at a special price, and then the price goes up, okay? But it's not available right now, okay? So anyway, let's come back over here. So we find an authority site within that particular niche, and what we can see is the categories he's got up here, okay? And this gives us a really, really good example of stuff that we can use as far as our categories. So once you've got your list of content planned out here, if you're stuck on any, you can see you can get some suggestions. Also, you can get some ideas for other content as well. You can see under here, he's got anxiety, which is a subcategory of dog behavior. Okay, and you can see in here he's got nutrition as a subcategory of dog care, for example. Now you can go that route and do the subcategories, etc. I would suggest you don't. Sites like this one I'm looking at right now, he's got hundreds and hundreds of articles. Okay, that's probably all he's focused on there, and it's really, really great content, and he's probably been building it for a long time. With the type of sites that we're doing, to be able to do multiple PBNs for, you know, one for each money site, you want to be doing about 5 PBNs and maybe doing about sort of 20 up sort of articles and adding a new sort of article, good, very, very good quality article every month. But that's why I'm going to talk about doing the news category in a second, so that we can keep the content flowing in there. That takes very, very little time, okay? But this is a good way as well to see what's going on. Now, another thing that I forgot to mention is that when you're doing authority PBNs, you want to be using category post name for your permalinks, okay? You don't want to be using just post name. You need to be using category post name, and you need your category to be one word, okay? So, for example, I could go and take from him, you know, his example of dog behavior as a category, and then I could do anxiety as a subcategory. But that's kind of making me sort of mentally, subconsciously commit to doing a lot more than what I really want to do. And when you get into that situation, you're going to start immediately feeling overwhelmed, and that's the first sign that you're going to quit, okay? Keep it really, really simple. We don't need to, you can get ideas from these authority sites, but you don't have to copy them exactly, okay? Just keep it really simple, keep it really organized, like the way I'm showing you. And by the time you've gone through planning out using this little spreadsheet here, you will find that you've basically done half of the work, and you've taken away the sort of daunting feeling that you would have otherwise, okay? And that's why I've designed it the way I have, with that in mind, so that you don't feel overwhelmed at any point, as long as you're not lazy and you will do the work. And it takes work, whatever you try to do online. If you're not willing to work, there is no magic bullet. You can get great softwares, you can take buy into all the hype of the product launches, but guess what? You need to do some work, and the work comes with quality content, okay? Always. It begins and ends with quality content and calls to action, okay? The rest of it is just about traffic. Okay, so you need to be willing to do the work. If you're willing to do the work here, by the time you finish this little spreadsheet, you're halfway there. All you need to think about is being able to add your content, get your content created. I've showed you a quick way to do that, and I'm going to give you another resource showing you how to get Google to optimize your content as well. And then you can plan this out really, really well, and you can create your content really fast in a very, very quick way to do it, okay? And hopefully next week we'll have the plugin ready to make it even easier for you with the news category, okay? Which we'll cover in just a second. Right now, so kind of lost my train of thought there. I always go on a rant. I like ranting. Okay, so the URL part, what we need to think about here. We've got our article, SEO title, 3 ways to stop your puppy being anxious when you leave home. Now, if we're doing the category post name, we're going to have that URL being far, far too long, okay, because what we will have is, for example, mydogcaresite.com/behavior, and then you're going to have all these different words in here, okay? So what we can do is, you can see, if I've clicked up here, you can see over here, this section, I've taken that down to make it a reasonable length, but I've still got my main keywords in here. 3 ways to stop puppy anxiety, okay? Just think logically at this point to put your main keywords in here. So we've got dog care site, behavior, 3 ways to stop puppy anxiety, okay? It easily is recognizable for Google to see what that particular content is about, okay? And once you've got that done, you're pretty well optimized as far as you're going to have great article titles. Hopefully you're going to have great content from that. You're going to have a great silo structure, a natural silo structure. You're going to have well optimized URLs with the category post name, with your main keywords in here, and then all you need to think about is the call to action. Okay, so for call to action, for example, let's go and take a look at one of his pages over here. And you can see here 10 tips for choosing the right vet. Now you might think, oh, that's really good information, I want to sort of bookmark that or whatever. A good way to be able to get people to take action and get you more traffic is to put a social share locker in here, okay, where you just highlight within your WordPress editor the section you want to be sort of locked. And what you can do is you can go over to Chrome or Firefox and you can get an extension that will turn any page into a PDF. So you can see here one called Print Friendly in PDF. You can create a PDF from one click and then download that PDF, put it into your content, add a link to it, and then put your social locker just by highlighting, tell it to social lock, and if somebody gives you a tweet, a retweet, or whatever, then you will get some more social shares, which is good for SEO. It's good for social proof, good for traffic, and it kind of goes on from there, okay? If you do the right things, the simple things, and make sure you do them all, then you're going to get better results, okay? So once you've got all that done, you've got a really, really, really good optimization strategy going on here. You've got a fast way to create these PBN sites, to create authority sites, and it's kind of fun to do this as well. Now, how long would it take you to do this? To go through like Bloggerscope, to go through BuzzSumo, to go through content jams, maybe take a look on Twitter. It doesn't take that long, and it's kind of fun to do, okay? And you can also use, keep a link over here as well. You can put in here, outbound link. Okay, typo again. And you can take the outbound link from one of those from BuzzSumo that's got a lot of social shares, okay? And the good thing about that is that it is kind of an authority link, and it's better than using Wikipedia, because everybody's using Wikipedia. Instead, you're using something that's truly popular as far as social media shares and things like that. That makes that an authority link. It makes it a highly relevant link, and you can just choose from there as well, okay? So you can put your outbound link in here as well, add that column, and that way you have a really good idea of what you need to do, okay? So that's basically how I would suggest you plan out your content. Okay, so let's come back over to the slide. You will find more notes in here as well. And one thing I wanted to cover extra was to do a sort of news category. And the reason we do a news category is that we can create fast content, really, really fast content in any niche without having to write sort of 1,000-word blog article, okay? So if I go into, I'm going to show an example because this is what I've built a plugin around it that we're going to get out probably next week. dailymail.co.uk, let's see if I can find sports article. And this is going back to what I was talking about before. We're using the bullet points and things. Now if you look at the structure of, that's not the best example. Let's come back one. Let's go into football. Unless they've changed their structure. Here we go. Okay, so what you can see here is that we have the headline. okay? And then we have sub-headlines, and that basically tells people at a glance what that article is about. Okay, so it's got a headline, this guy's rolled out for 3 weeks, football manager demands a big improvement, and then we've got the bullet points. So the guy suffered a hamstring injury, he's left behind, he didn't fly away with the squad. Hold on, they've got a video playing. And then we've got here about the manager, whatever he's talking about, okay? So it gives you a very, very good example of how these how they structure that particular content. Let me go back, I kind of lost that, something jumped. Okay, and then if you look at the amount of content he has to write in here, look, he's got a little one paragraph here, he's got an image, he's got a video that he got probably at, you know, just you can find on YouTube, something similar. And then it's got another one paragraph here, and they're done, okay? How long would it take you to do that? I mean, literally 10 minutes maximum to do something like that. All you have to do is find out a sort of popular news topic around your niche. You give it a headline, give it some bullet points, add a paragraph, add an image, add another paragraph, add a video from YouTube if you can find a relevant one, and you are done, okay? So I've got a plugin that we'll give out next week.
If I may interject,
Yeah.
I think that my software, ICC Express, is just perfect for creating that kind of content.
Okay.
So I just had to put that in there. Most of my peeps already know that.
Why don't we do a demo of that one next week?
Great idea.
Yeah, okay, let's do a demo of that one next week, okay? This is just something I've sort of picked up. Just for the idea of doing really fast content like this, where we can focus on a news section. And that way, by having that news category, then you keep adding content in there on a more regular basis that literally takes you very, very little amount of time, okay? And it's so easy to do, okay? There's nothing epic about this kind of content, but it still looks good quality content. The main things that we have to look out for is that we give them good reason to continue reading up here. We give it a good headline, and we keep these image sizes all the same as well, okay? And you can see in here they've got the share things, which is going to be in that plugin as well. But we'll do a demo of yours next week here and let them see it. I haven't even seen it myself, that one, so I'll look forward to seeing that. Okay, so let's come back over here. Let's see if I missed anything else. So we covered most of this call to action. Yeah, more about giveaways. What I suggest you do with every PBN site, if you're doing an authority site, you need to think about giving giveaways away. There's two different kinds that you can give out. There's one that you can give out for social shares, which I suggest you just do the PDF of the blog post using that Chrome extension. Okay. Secondly, I suggest that within your PBN network, you have 4 things to give away of value, whether it's a report, whether it's a free plugin, whether it's a video course or whatever. You can get a lot of PLR stuff, or you can just create stuff yourself, okay? Have at least 4 giveaways that you can give away within your whole sort of PBN niche, okay? And you can spread that around between all of them. Okay, and it's very, very easy to do that because we don't need to let Google know everything is coming from the same place. You can get plugins that will do the sort of fly-in on the side here, and those plugins are able to be sort of set just for that particular site. Okay, so it will build an email list within your WordPress site, so you don't even need to be using Aweber or GetResponse or anything like that. All you need to be able to do is be able to add that plugin and tell it when to fly out. I'll put a link to a couple that I tested in the last sort of week or so, and you can have it that when they scroll down about 60%, you get this fly out comes out, and it asks them for the email address in exchange for something. Now, if you've got about 4 giveaways in any niche, then you're basically going to capture a vast majority of that particular niche once you learn how to drive the traffic, which is why we're building a PBN, so we can get SEO for a money site so that we can drive traffic, okay? That's the whole point of doing it. But that's a very, very good way to do it, and you can build a list, and the other advantage of having a list is that when you have new content on any of those sites, you can send an email to that entire list and tell them you've got a blog post over there, or that you've seen a blog post over there that might interest them, and that is going to be, you know, really, really fast traffic, really, really fast social shares and things like that after every sort of blog post. But we will cover that next week, things to do after you have done a blog post, okay, things that you really should be doing, and I'll give you some additional resources. Okay, so I think we're probably done with things I wanted to cover, unless I've forgotten anything here. Let me just check. Yeah, I've got another link for a video that I've done. I've done a sort of part 1, how to let Google optimize your content. If you go over to my site, anthonyhayes.me, and you will see a bar at the top of the website where you put in an email and a name, okay. I had to make that post hidden because I'm using it as a test for some Facebook and Twitter ads that I'm running this week. So what I'm doing is I'm getting people to opt in there, and it will take them to a page that is a private page, and they can see a video, and you will see part 1 of that, how I do this, okay. Sorry, excuse me a second, I'll take a drink. Yeah, you'll be able to see right away how within about 5 minutes you can get a bunch of keywords to optimize your content, highly relevant keywords that you can build content around really, really fast. And if you go over to anthonyhayes.me and put your name and email there, you will get redirected to that, and you'll be able to see very, very quickly how you can create very highly relevant articles that Google optimize for you, okay. What else? Did I forget anything here? A PBN Masterclass, if you're still interested, you can get a link at the end of this spreadsheet thing here, and the link is here for SEO Morpho as well. Okay, so we got any questions? We can take some questions before we finish up.
Not right now. No questions have come in.
Okay, so I guess we need you to pick out 2 winners here for the Web 2.0 Commando.
Okay.
And we will deliver that to them this week.
One about categories. Okay, Jock wanted to know about the categories. Do they not cause duplicate content with tags?
If you're using, well, there's things that we can do within WordPress as well, but this is basically for the PBN Masterclass people. When we're setting up a site, we can do stuff with robots tags. We can do some stuff with optimization with the SEO plugins. If you got that configuration from Yoast plugin, we'll take a lot of that away for you as well, okay? So that when you get those results in the search engines, if you do a sort of site colon mydomain.com kind of search, sometimes you will find you've got really crappy results come up as far as tags and things like that, and categories and tags and PDFs and things like that. It takes away a lot of that stuff. But I do have a plan for showing exactly how to set a site up from start to finish for PBN Masterclass people. But you can do things with robot text to prevent that from happening.
Also, I've recently been reading that tags are really not good, where they had used to be something that was good. Now it's not so good because Google limits the amount of pages that you get indexed. And so the tags, the way these sitemaps work is they map all the tags to their own page as well. So you end up with a really huge amount of indexed content content to be indexed. And Google just takes like the top 100 or whatever it is, and the rest are just left behind. So depending on how the sitemap is organized, or is sorted rather, you know, the ones at the top get indexed and the ones underneath do not, based on the tags. So I actually went to a couple of my sites last week and just deleted all the tags from the site. So I had like 1,500 tags on one site.
Oh.
I just deleted them all. And I haven't really checked the stats yet, but I figured, you know, that would be helpful. Because we have this auto tagger. I used to suggest we use that, but I don't think you should use that anymore. The WP auto add tagger type plugin.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have one that's really, really good called Auto SEO Tags. And what that would do was, back in the days, actually, it worked, when Google used to pass the keyword through the URL of the referral from the person that was searching from Google, so you'd be able to see what they were searching for when they came to your site. But they've been really just turning all the data off to consumers and just keeping it all behind the wall now. However, I did learn you can get that data from Google Webmaster Tools, so that's a good thing. But the auto SEO tags would just grab the keyword that was searched on and then stick it onto your post as a tag. That actually worked quite well, but since they started encrypting the keywords, it's not working so well either. So I don't think any of that tagging stuff is helpful anymore.
It kind of isn't. I think there's a few different ways to look at it as well. If you set your robot text and things like that up, it won't be that much of an issue. You can actually just tell Google, don't index these. At the same time, if you've got tags on your site, it's good for other search engines, I guess. There's ways around it, which we're going to cover in PBM Masterclass in a lot of detail, how to do that kind of stuff. But going back to the original question about the categories, you can see here I'm putting one category for one article, okay? We're not sort of crossing over, but in real life and even on my own site, I will cross over. I'm not that fussed about it. I think it's if it's relevant to two categories, I'm going to put it in two categories there because I want people to find my content. Okay, what for me is more important is that they like the content, that they share the content, that they will come back to the website. Okay, so I'm not always thinking about Google, and that sounds kind of strange for an SEO guy, but I think there's enough SEO in whatever I do anyway that, if I put it into categories, but you can use things like taxonomies and stuff like that, but again, that's for the masterclass that will cover that kind of stuff. Okay.
Awesome. So, about this contest, now who wants to step up with your URL? Just step right up and put it in the chat box and let's see what you got going on. MBS Jock, is that your URL, MBS Gold? Can you go ahead and visit that? Is that what you wanted us to see, or not sure? He's just said, I did the same, http://mbsgold.com. Why don't you go ahead and browse that and see what it's talking about?
Lawrence is asking for links. They're all in the chat box down here, Lawrence, not in the question section.
It's in the chat box.
Yeah. All the links are in there, but if not, then you will get the link to the slides. The slides.
No, I think what we're talking about is the contest now, right?
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll change presenter. Should I do that? And it's going to be easier.
No, I'm not ready to present. Why don't you just get a browser and go to that URL?
Okay. Let me just
because anybody that wants okay, here's Roland's got one. Brian's got one. John's got one. And I think Jock has put one in there, but I'm not sure if that's his entry. So you can just see in the question list there, Tony.
Yeah, I'm just looking for here. I'm looking for links that we've got here. Let's see if I can copy. I don't want to copy email address. I just want to copy the link.
No, you just click on the text on the question list, and then down below you can select and copy it.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to do that. I'll put it into the whole audience list. Let's start with Roland's. Okay, now I'm sending it to everyone. It's idraulicopronto.info. If you could go over there. You could probably click on it now. Tony, I just put it into the main audience link there.
Okay, let's take a look.
Let me try getting the as a URL. Maybe it'll be clickable. Try this.
Okay, so this is Roland here, yeah, chiropractic marketing. Okay. This is, Roland, is this on an expired domain? That's one of the main questions.
Okay, great.
Well, that's my questions again, hold on. Yeah, okay. So it's on an expired domain. Do you know any of the sort of data for what's the domain authority, page authority, anything like that? Has it got any page rank, how old is it, anything like that, just some basic details? Let me just look through this anyway.
Roland? You're asking Roland for that, yeah, right. Roland, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your domain?
Good thing is it's got a good strong call to action.
Roland, you got a microphone? Let me bring him on. Hey, Roland, I turn on your mic. Can you talk? Or is your mic not? There you go. So yeah, Roland, I turn on your mic, so maybe you could tell us like the page rank, the domain authority, the age, you know, all that stuff about.
I don't know where it is. You know where my... Can you type this in? He wants to get... What do you want me to type? All these questions they ask me. Ranking.
What's up, brother?
You know what my...
Okay, well, I don't know if he's going to make it, but we could go look it up. Let's go to Majestic.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Roland, it's all right. We're going to use Majestic and we're going to take a look, okay?
Yeah, it's all good. Thanks, Roland. I got to get a drink of water. I'll be right back.
A little bit of panic there for Roland. Apologies for that, Roland. The good thing is it's got a lot of good call to action in here, okay? It's a really nice design site. It's easy to look at, and yeah, it's got quite good strong calls to action. Let me just see the bottom as well. I would definitely get some links in the bottom here, Roland. Privacy pages and stuff like that down the bottom. And there's a lot of stuff flashing. Anyway, let's take a look at Majestic and see what they say about this particular site. And we'll also go to Open Site Explorer. We'll take a look in there as well.
Awesome.
Okay, no backlinks, no trustful or anything there. Let's go to historical index.
When was it conceived? Well, what is the birth date of that domain?
It's got a page authority 17, domain authority 7. And it's got nothing in Majestic. So that's because we're using, hold on, let me just see the entire. Okay, base www. So it's showing. So he's got 299 external backlinks, 37 from referring domains, different referring domains, which is pretty decent. You got no trustful, no citation flow. No trustful, no citation flow over here. That tells me two things, is that you need to get those links indexed, okay? And you need to start thinking about internal linking in your site. Two things you really need to do. Get the links indexed and get some internal linking on your site. Do things like I just suggested, put your links down the bottom here for your privacy pages and stuff. That will help a little bit as well. It's not a major thing, but it should always be there. Just get used to putting that kind of stuff in there, okay? And why have you got a page here called lead pages? I'm just curious. I would change that if you want to put anything in there. If it's a lead page that's going to give stuff away, I would put in there, you know, something about getting a gift or free stuff or a report or whatever. I would change that from lead pages for sure. Okay, let's have a look at Open Site Explorer. It's saying the domain authority 7, page authority 17. Let's just check the www in case it's any different. No. Yeah, slightly different. We've got a page authority 20. You need to decide if you're going to be building links to http, your domain name, or using the www as well. Okay, it does make a difference. And stick to one. Whatever you're going to do, stick to one. You can use things like the different anchor text using both. That's okay to use as well. But focus on getting your content optimized inside the article, okay? What's happening, once we've got all this anchor text that we've got to do these days instead of what we used to do with the exact sort of matched anchor text, what we've got to do is a whole bunch of generic stuff and branding and things like that, okay? So we might have domainname.com, www.domainname.com, http, domainname.com, stick in a little bit of LSI kind of keywords, and then we've got a whole bunch of generic stuff, like click here, read more, all that kind of stuff. So how does Google know what your site is about? We know that backlinks are still very, very important, but how does Google know what your site is about? That's why you need to go over to my site and fill in that form at the top, and I'm going to show you exactly how you do that. And even with anchor text that says read more and branding anchor text, you can rank for multiple keywords with one piece of content once you learn that strategy, okay? Because Google will show you exactly what you need to put inside your content. It's all about the on-page stuff, okay? The anchor text is important as long as it's generic and broad and not stuck on exact things. Linking is still important as long as it's relevant and coming from sort of relevant sites, authority sites or whatever. But you've got it's got three parts of the equation. The SEO for the actual content, the article itself, is really, truly, truly very, very important these days, okay? And that's how Google will decide what keywords you rank for, from whatever you put in there. So that's what I would say there, okay? Hope that makes sense.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good learning. Very, very good learning.
Right.
You're like a technical specialist for, the whole SEO thing across the board. That's wonderful. I learn new stuff every week over here. So we got some more people who've entered their websites. So what would you, on a 1 to 10, what would you give that, Tony?
I like the design.
Best,
okay.
And 0 being the worst.
I like the design. I don't like the stats, but there's very, very easy fixes you can put in there. And the scale of to 10, I would say probably not less than a 7. If you do the little bits that I suggested with your internal linking, if you do the things to get your backlinks indexed, and you follow my content strategy for the on-page stuff in the video. It's a 15-minute video. It's not even a long video. Spend 15 minutes doing it. It's the best 15 minutes you will spend today, even better than this webinar, believe me. Do it. Go and learn it and start using it, and then you will be able to make a big difference. Okay, what I don't like here is that these...
What is it? What is it?
Going over to my site, let me just go and find it. I'll show you exactly.
You said it's even better than this webinar, so I figure we better catch it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
When you're in my site, you can see this bar here. I've got that WordPress thing. This bar at the top here, put a name and address in here, and it will take you to that video. It's a 15-minute video. Okay? And watch that video. It's the best 15 minutes you will spend today.
Anthony
Make
Hayes.
sure you watch it. Yeah, Anthony Hayes got me, and just the hello bar is called at the top.
Nice looking site there. Very nice.
Yeah, we're still building it a little bit. But anyway, look, that particular article will tell you Google will tell you how to optimize your content. And it takes 5 minutes to get the keywords that you need. 5 minutes, really, literally, from 3 or 4 different sources, 3 or 4 different ways to do it, okay? And the reason I had to put this, and I can't just give a link, is because I don't have the direct link unless I go into the sort of page editing settings. But I've put this because I'm driving a lot of paid traffic to the site this week. I've got a goal of getting 1,000 hits a day to my blog,
Well, let's drive on with this contest here. I hate to be a jerk but we could get on with this contest, okay? Because we got three more to look at. The next one I put in the box there is Jock's website. It's called mbsgold.com. Can you go ahead and click on that?
Yeah, it's in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
it's in the. I just sent it to the entire audience in the main chat link. It's right underneath the Idraulico Pronto that we just looked at.
Hold on a second, my chat has disappeared here. Oh, it's here, it's here, it's here. Sorry. Okay. So we've done, which one am I looking at first? Handmade copper jewelry, yeah?
Well, the one above that, let's go next.
Okay.
MBS, well, okay, whatever. No, you got, there's three more, okay, and I just saw two of them flash by, but okay, we can go to the Pleasanton Lawyer.
I've all the links, so let's just do them one at a time.
That's fine. So you climb up from the bottom of the list there. Oh, okay.
Okay.
You're going pretty fast there.
Yeah. Okay, it's got some good optimization because it's put in good descriptions and stuff like that. I think the design could do with a little bit more appeal and just a little bit more color maybe. Don't get me wrong, I like to sort of plain stuff, but as far as visually, and I always try to think about, you know, user experience, not just the sort of SEO stuff, that you could make this look just a little bit better with just a few little twists and touches. But it looks pretty well optimized.
Yeah,
that's nice. See the sort of headlines. It's easy to digest some of this. I would maybe break it up a little bit here to make it into sort of 2 paragraphs, or I'll make a space somewhere. Video there. And it's got some reviews, which is always good as well. Again, put some links down the bottom here for privacy and things like that, terms and contact and things down the bottom, whereas you've got it up the top here. I would put those at the bottom. Maybe not the policies, but definitely I would put a privacy at the bottom and the contact down there as well. Okay, out of 10, I think this is probably, let me just take one quick look in the Majestic.
Yeah, good idea. The domain was created on November 2008. I'm looking at domain tools.
Okay.
And I don't see any drops.
Historic index not giving me much here. Let's do the www, I think.
Domain tool says, oh yeah, that's about the internal links. They don't have the same data as Majestic, but they have some good data.
Am I in the right domain? Is this the same domain, or is this a different one?
No, we need handmadecopperjewelry.com.
Yeah, and I think I just refreshed Rollins there. Let me just do this properly.
Right.
1 second.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, we got good trust flow, we got good citation flow.
That looks pretty good.
Oh, that's a lot of backlinks. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of domains, 1,800 referring domains. That's quite good.
That's a beast.
Yeah.
Okay, the backlink profile I'd be really worried about with this just by seeing how many external links, unless they're kind of more natural. Okay, let's see. Other anchor text is good. Copper jewelry, I would cut that down. 14% for that many backlinks is really huge. Is this ranking already for the keywords? For any keywords?
He said yes, many.
Okay.
No, he said, oh yeah, many.
So what is the goal of using this as a money site for a PBN if you're already ranking? I'm just curious, is it because you're not happy with the results you've got right now, or you want to solidify them, or you've got a lot of competition, or what would the reason be if you're already ranking for a bunch of them?
Said he was not he was in the top 10, but it dropped a little bit, so he wants to solidify and increase ranking.
Okay, the reason why you might have dropped is because of the amount of links. Is just a huge amount of links here. I would cut this down. Almost 15% of that many links is a huge amount. I would cut that down to well under 10% for that particular keyword, and I would build up these even more. This 46%, build them up even more. Get a lot of generic in there, and try and go for the multiple ranking sort of articles and content. Okay, that way. Let me see the backlinks here. And let's just take a quick look over here and see the anchor text as well inside. It's got domain authority 27, page authority 39, which is pretty good for the www.
Very good.
Okay, I think we can give this one a winner for our web tour because of the sort of open site explorer stats and stuff like that.
Give it a what?
We can give him one of the winners of the competition, but look at the URLs.
Okay.
Here.
Not even giving him a rating, just saying he's a winner.
Well, he's got very good sort of stats for domain authority and page authority and stuff like that. But he's got a lot of links coming from the same domains as well, which you really need to cut down on here. Wow. I can see, there's a lot of work probably going into this, but you've got a lot of work still to do as well.
Right.
If you want to keep it sort of long term.
A lot of links from the same blogs or whatever.
But just for the sort of page authority and domain authority, how old is this site? I mean, when did you build the site yourself? When did you get a hold of this domain?
So from the beginning, which was 2008 in November.
Oh, okay. We were supposed to be doing this with people buying expired domains.
Right. Disqualified. No, just kidding.
Okay. No, because the whole point was that people were following along. I thought it was something that was done sort of last week or so. Anyway, I'll give you 1 month of Web 2.0 Commando because you didn't really follow the rules. But anyway.
Okay, let's go. You should check out MBS Gold. What is
MBS, okay.
Gold.com?
Let me just go back into the chat in here to find that one, MBS. MBS Gold. Okay. Oh, it's already done. MBS Gold. It's appealing as soon as you look at it, yeah?
Yeah, it looks decent.
Follow us. Yeah.
Wise.
Lacking a call to action. You need a call to action in here. There was Buffer blog. I don't know if you ever heard of Buffer. They did a blog post the other day, and they were saying that they wanted to increase the subscribers, so they did a lot of testing. They did the hello bar thing at the top here, like I've got up here. I can't see it because of my WordPress dashboard thingy. And they did another one that when you scroll down about 60%, something flies out. Not fast, sort of speedy fly out, but just a call to action. They also did the sidebar. They also did in content, and they also did something called Quizzer, which is like a quiz kind of opt-in thing. So people take a quiz and they opt in automatically kind of thing. And they did some Twitter cards as well, which you can do if you set up a Twitter advert. You can have a sort of call to action Twitter card. The one that was top, that was really unexpected, was the slide-in, followed by the hello bar. The one in the sidebar was very disappointing, and the one inside the content was okay, but not as good as the other two, probably because they'd already used one of the other two before they even got to that, I would imagine. but it's just showing people who've got banner blindness for the sidebar now. So if you do something like at the top and you do this slide, and it will make a hell of a difference. And the whole point of doing that is that you can get repeat traffic, okay? You're maximizing your traffic. And another thing that you can do is put some ad roll pixels, which is really easy to set up. Just go over to adroll.com, add your domain name in there, get the pixels, stick it into the site so it's site-wide, and you can capture people for retargeting as well, which is always a good thing to do. It's really cheap, really, really, really cheap. I did a YouTube ad about
the retargeting that I've been taught only that really works after people have already bought something. So how would you actually make money retargeting people who just went to the site? Like give them the gold ads and stuff or whatever?
Yeah, I think your goal is to drive them back into the site whenever you got something new come up. So if you've got a new special offer or something like that, you know they're interested in it, then that would be the way to do it. But I'm really not an expert on PPC stuff. I really not. I'm I'm below a newbie as far as that stuff is concerned. But saying that, I did a did a little case study for myself the other day. I had put I put a video on YouTube for the Hangout Publisher Commando. I did some retargeting to people who had been to the old Kiss IM site, because I'd set up a retargeting pixel, and I got 2 clicks and 1 sale for 197, and it cost me 4 cents.
Yeah, right.
So I got lucky, because I don't know what the hell I was doing. In fact, it wasn't even active for about 2 days because I didn't understand how to get it active. I put in all the settings that I could see, and what I ended up doing was increasing the daily budget, and then it suddenly became active. I don't even know, what I was doing there. So I'm even below a newbie with that stuff. But I would suggest that if for the retargeting of people who are not already customers, then you just know that they are interested in this particular subject, and when you've got a new offer or a special deal, then that would be the way to get them back into the site to see that specific offer or deal.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, let me see. So you've got a lot of articles in here, which is kind of good, and you've got some images. And okay, so when was this created, and how old is it? Okay, you've got copyright down here, you've got WordPress, you've got Sumo themes, reviewer theme. I would get rid of all of that down here. I would put in here privacy terms. You've got let me see what you got at the top here. Investing, reviews, assets. Okay, I would definitely get your privacy and stuff like that. If you ever get stuck to do that kind of stuff, there's a plugin called Core Tweaks that you can use, but there's other ones that can do those kind of pages as well and get them in. And take out this stuff here as well. Just remove it, this WordPress, Sumo themes and stuff like that. We all do it, and I've probably even got it in my own site, but I'm just spotting it now. I'm just mentioning that it should be done. Okay, so let's go to Majestic. How old is the site in domain tools?
Yeah, the domain was created October of 2008. John, Jock, it says here Jock had got it 6 months ago. And it does have 1 drop, 2 registrars and 1 drop. That's what we got on domain tools, and it also says John Brokus is associated with 22 other domains.
Okay, looking at the anchor, it's very high for these kind of LSI kind of keywords. I would have that about 20% all in, okay, and focus on your keywords on the content. And each piece of content, focus on the keywords in there, not so much the anchor. Expand this out as 26%, which is the other anchor text, and the rest can be things like branding and stuff like that. But you sort of LSI kind of keywords in here: buy gold, 12%, gold IRA rollovers. This, I would really try and cut this down and do more of the generic stuff. This one is like HTTP. mbsgold.com. I think it's too high, personally.
When generic, you mean stuff like, check this out, or click here.
Yeah. And focus more on having the keywords inside the content that you're linking to. I don't see the trouble with doing this in a hurry is that we're not able to see where these links are coming. Are the internal links and stuff as well? We need to look at internal links as well, because if you've got all of that going to the home page, it's kind of fine, but you just want to change some of these numbers around here, and that's very, very easy to do just by adding more sort of keyword anchor type sort of links. And the problem with the last one that we looked at, for him to make a difference, he's got so many links there. To get that percentage down would take a shitload of links, to be honest, to be able to do that. But what you want to do is any new links you put in with the generic stuff to get it indexed as quickly as possible, so use an indexer. This one is not so bad. It's got 1,200. It's more manageable. He's got a high amount of referring domains. It's got a decent citation flow. The trust flow is okay as well. And in Open Site Explorer, domain authority 26, page authority 38. Yeah, okay. When did he put the site up? When did he own the site?
He said 6 months ago.
Okay, so he didn't do it in the last week. Okay, you get 1 month. Roland, you get 1 month as well. Okay.
Possibly more.
Of winter. Yeah, because they haven't followed the rules. It's not fair on the people who did. I wanted to do this for the people who followed along, and to make sure the people were taking action.
I don't necessarily think it's that people aren't following the rules. It's just, it's like a whole concept that everyone's learning. And, people often don't really understand the full concept that we're trying to get across. Like last week I went out and bought like 10 of these things, Yeah. And so that's just the thing that we're trying to get across to you, why, you're going to learn it. It takes some repetition perhaps, but there is one more site to visit, which is the Lawyer. You're looking at it now.
Yeah. Pleasanton Lawyer, okay. Let's take a look at the stats on this one first, and then I'll look at the design stuff. And let's go over here. Paste. When buying the expired domain, so I'm not looking for a huge amount of backlinks, so I'm just looking for the relevancy. And build your own sort of link profile is so much easier than 400,000 links.
Oh, really?
It's so hard to manage. It's so hard to manage like that. So you got a trust flow quite low here. Let me take off the www and see if that makes a difference. Oh. Trust flow 0 for that one. Okay, it looks nicer if we put the www in here.
Hey, let me ask you a question. You see this where it says last crawl result. If you go back to that Majestic page, Tony, for a second,
yeah.
You see where it says last crawl result, HTTP 406 not acceptable. Do you know exactly what that is?
No, but I would just Google it.
I mean, I've looked it up before because I've seen that. It has something to do with the server's header response, and you have to set something up or make sure you have some header on your server or something for that not to happen. I'm not sure if that affects your ranking or whatever, but it can't be good.
No, it can't be good. So, since we're here and if Google does not mind me answering in the forums, 406 response will be response your web hosting company give to our bot when they try to crawl your website. So it might be something in robots.txt. Yeah, it is. Let's say over here, robots.txt. All right, next week what I'll do is I'll give you robots.txt to use. Okay.
That's robots, right? Because it's like
it's robots. Yeah.
You might even have the WordPress setting to discourage search engines from indexing the site. So check that.
Yeah. It can be as well. I've seen it happen when people are using an SEO plugin. They've got a robots text and they've used another robots text somewhere else without even realizing it. It's kind of a common thing where people put in. They've tried to put in more than one robots text and you don't know which one is working, kind of thing. You could just go into your webmaster tools, and there's very, very basics that you can do. You can even just look it up and what's the ideal robot text term in Google. You'll find it. What you want to make sure is that
Some WordPress plugins actually generate it as a 301 or like programmatically when Google spiders.
Yeah.
Look on your site, you don't have a robots.txt, but they have it from some programming that WordPress has. So you have to make sure you get the settings right. If you have a
can just simple redirect
plugin or something.
Yeah, for that, but I'll give them robots text next week.
Cool. Well, John actually wanted to throw in another entry here. You think that's fair?
Okay, well, let me just see what we... Go back to this lawyer one. I just want to finish this one off first, so let me just have a quick look and remind myself. Trust flow low, and what is that one? I'll get rid of that. And here, domain authority, page authority is very, very good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the backlinks? Inbound links. And backlinks. I just want to see how many are dropping. How many links are dropping.
Dropping, does that mean they're like losing their indexing or something?
Yeah. Just bear with me a second, guys. I just want to check something. So we can see here we've got an anchor text of Majestic. It will see how many deleting. That's not a bad thing for these particular keywords that they're deleting because it's making it a little bit less for these particular ones. I would go for more of the generics for this particular site. Watch this one here. It's Chinese kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's only 2 of them, so it's not going to make a huge
Does that make
difference.
a bad link or like a negative link or something?
It kind of depends because it could be a genuine link from something related, just just a Chinese site, but it's just a warning, isn't it? Whenever you see that, things like cheap lawyer, I don't like the words cheap to be in there. If we go in here and we look at let's use the buy filter again, like we did last week, and see if there's anything that really shouldn't be in here. No, that's okay. It's not too bad. It's okay. How long has he had this site for?
I said he got it last week. Is that right? Yeah. No, wait. Is that correct? Let me double check. About a year.
Don't contact us. About
a year.
Okay, you get 1 month.
All right. So
you get 1 month of better. Since this is quite well written out and as it's easy to read. Call to action is a question. I would definitely, I wish people would focus more on the call to action and think about the marketing more than just the SEO. Okay, you've got to think about the goal of your site is, which we covered in quite a lot of detail on PBM Masterclass last week. What is the purpose of your site? What is the one thing your site is going to do really, really well? Okay, and that suggests it always should be to collect leads. Okay, always it should be to collect leads. But it depends. If you've got a lawyer site, for example, the leads might not be so important because it's kind of a basis of when you're in trouble or when you need a lawyer. But you want to do something, and you want to do your site to do one thing really, really well, and the rest kind of follows after that as well. It just becomes a pattern. But it's nicely written. It's easy to sort of read. I would center your video here just to make a space or something, and put just to make it look a little bit better. And he's got some links down the bottom here. And these links are aiming at sort of anchor text kind of keyword related. One tip when you're doing this kind of stuff down here, don't be afraid to use punctuations like commas and stuff. For example, I had a site in London that we ranked, and it was divorce lawyers London was a keyword. It was getting something like 8,000 hits a month, 8,000 searches a month, exact searches. It's very, very hard to put something like that into context, like Divorce Lawyer London. And the guy who built the site for me is actually a very, very well-known marketer, and he was writing articles like The Secrets of Divorce Lawyers London, and it was just like kind of really awful looking. Don't be afraid to put in things like commas, okay? Divorce Lawyer London W1, for example, makes a lot more sense, yeah? And it's not going to penalize you in any way. So you're still getting your kind of exact anchor text in, but using that punctuation makes a hell of a difference to the sort of user friendliness of it and making it look natural, because there's nothing worse than saying something that's obviously been optimized for a particular keyword. So if you're going to do this kind of stuff down the bottom, these I don't have any problem with these, but you know what? I would make these no follow. I would definitely be making these no follow, because these are site-wide. You need to be careful with that with you know, the recent updates and stuff. I would be making these no follow, and it's great as far as the sort of user friendliness, and maybe your sitemap is in there, your privacy policy, and that's all good. But I would definitely be making these all no follow as well. Let me see. And calls to action, you really need to get some calls to action in there somehow. Free consultation is okay. It's not big enough, bold enough. I would make that more of a reason, you know. Talk about the experience, like I've been a lawyer for 10 years, there's nothing I haven't heard, or whatever kind of sort of things that they're using. Look at the competitor's website to see what they're using, get ideas from that. Lawyers, something that really, what is he trying to portray? He's trying to portray that he can be trusted, he gets results, he's experienced. Try and fit that message into your call to action somehow as well. And I think that's really important. But it's overall, it's quite good. He's done a lot of things good here as well, just some basic stuff. Just see, again, just want to say one more thing. Let's go into fresh index with this one. Because if it's a recent purchase, then I want to see what's been happening recently. Okay, there's nothing going on. Oh, I've got the filter, that's one. And I need to go to summary, and the filter jumped back up again. All right, this is good. External backlinks 55, referring domains 29. That's pretty good. Referring IPs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you just need to make it generic, more generic with your anchor text. Okay, and you will be good. I think you will be good. Is this ranking at all for this particular keyword?
So it's several #1 positions. So that's good.
Yeah. The only thing I would be concerned about is just to do more variation of the anchor text, but it's very easy to sort of lose the whole point of the PBN at this point, because when we're doing the PBNs, the idea is that we're building relevancy to these sites where we don't need huge amount of links, and we don't need to be going in and searching for backlink opportunities. That you're controlling your own backlinks from high authority sites, and for those high authority sites, we're building backlinks to them as well, and that's where we can sort of put in the larger numbers of stuff as far as the backlinks and stuff like that is concerned. So that's another reason why I like to find those with very, very few sort of backlinks and things like that as well. Okay, like we've had how many in here so far? Four examples. We'll give you all 1 month of Web 2.0 because I think that would be fair on everybody.
Okay. Everyone.
We can do the same next week as well. Nobody feels left out. But you definitely got to work on these anchor text things and make them a little bit more reliant on your on-page content.
Brian's got a generic in there, you know, so he's not doing all that bad with the anchor text, but you could get some more variations going on.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that probably just about wraps it up for today, unless there's any questions. And we will put the replay into the blog page. Did anybody actually do the Google Plus thing for me? Because I really wanted to test something. Say yes if you did give us a Google Plus share on that blog replay page. Because I really, really do want to test something that's really important
Roland
for me.
said yes. Troy?
Yeah. Thanks, Troy. Thanks, Roland.
John? Oh, John
Put the
says
link in the
put the
chat
link in the
box.
chat box for him.
Okay. So here is the link.
Hayes.me or?
Oh, I'll put it into there. Let me just find the chat as well. There we go. AnthonyHayes.me, Bill PBM webinar replace that one there in the chat box. I really want to test this. If you can, give us a Google share and a Google Plus one.
Great.